On the count of three, can we get a fuck you, Anthony? 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Anthony!
Next comic, give it loud everybody for Anthony Eugenio. We're gonna have next comic. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
Why, hello everybody, you're welcome to an Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne. And we're here with a topic episode. It's been a long time, motherfuckers, so it's time to give you the topic. This week, we're talking about how we post-mortem our sets. What do we do after them to make adjustments? How do we break them down? So on and so forth. Here with my buddy Wayne. How you doing, Wayne?
Doing really good. Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I am loving looking at the top of your head as you scramble around.
Sorry, I have a dog down here with me tonight. She was getting into something.
Why?
She decided to come downstairs, and
you are ruled by everything in your life. You're fucking ruled by it. Tell that dog.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy. She can do whatever she wants.
There you go. You heard it here first. Everybody, Wayne lets dogs walk all over him. All right.
Hey, before we get too far into this.
Yep.
I completely forgot about something that I was supposed to show you last week. It was a little snippet from the show in Loudon that we did, our first OMP Productions.
Yes.
I can't show you the video, but I can have you listen to it. Because I think you're using your phone right now, right?
Yep.
So I'll put it up to the mic and you can listen to it. This is Jacques' introduction for me. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty sweet. I really appreciated this. I'll turn my volume up here. Ready?
Go to OMP Productions on Facebook, like them, follow them, say nice things. They're the production company that put this together. On the count of three, can we get a thank you, OMP Productions? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, OMP Productions. Now, the next comic coming up is one of the two guys who put this together. His partner can't be here, and he's named Anthony. So on the count of three, can we get a fuck you, Anthony? 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Anthony! Okay.
Nice.
That was the loudest that crowd was during that "fuck you, Anthony," and I gotta say, I loved it. I loved it. It's fantastic.
It felt like I was hosting. It did, because that's exactly what the crowd normally says when I host. So that makes sense. They say it with their eyes, but those pieces of shit. Yeah, listen, I put an appreciation post up myself for Jacques because me and him did the Averill House Vineyard in Brookline, New Hampshire, with the legend Mike Donovan and the about-to-be legend Matt P. Brown. It was pretty good. It was a good show. Outside in the vineyard, I thought it was going to be, because the sun was out when I started, a lot more difficult. But they had the tent that everybody was under, and I turned the spotlight on, and I turned their lights off, and I put the a black background across where most of the sun was coming in. And I think I curtailed that, because I got pretty good laughs right away, which was great. I had to shut down a heckler, though, for the first time.
You mentioned this. Yeah, I only read it in text. I would love to hear this in person.
So, there's a lady who's quite shithoused right away, because it's a vineyard. You know, you're gonna go bless the vineyard.
Yeah, she's not spitting out those wine tastings. She's a swallower.
Yep, and her husband walked by the mic before they started the show, and he pretended to mic check the mic, and then he started dancing outside the vineyards. And I was like, all right, these people are going to be a problem. And they sit right in the front row. And I'm like, definitely going to be a problem. And so during my set, they're great. You know, they're laughing at all the jokes that I want them to laugh at. All that's really good, but they're talking too much. Like, oh, I know a person who does that. Oh, Wonder Bread in with cookies. Oh, my God, just like my cousin. Shh, you guys shut the fuck up, right? So they're doing that during my set, but it's not really fucking me up too much because luckily she's kind of in rotation with her comments. But she did fuck up my kids suck joke. Really did. God damn, she talked at the worst time during that. Ruined the punchline. And that's a tough punchline to ruin.
Isn't that the worst? I hate that. That's the number one horrible thing about heckling. It's like I could care less what people say to me. It's when they throw off the setup or the punchline for other people.
Yeah, and she did it twice. Once during Kids Suck, which is I have to throw my baby over my shoulders, kind of the punchline to that. And she talked right before I did that, so it really blunted the impact of what I was doing because there's supposed to be tension built up there, and she like ruined the tension. And then also I have a whale joke where I turn around as a sloth, and she talked right as I was turning around as a sloth, and I got good laughs from it, but I can tell people are looking at her and not really paying attention. On the flip side, at the end of my whales jokes, I have the joke is about a sperm whale at the end. And it's a thinker. You got to think about what it means for a minute. It takes a minute to hit because, I'm describing a pregnant lady as a sperm whale, which is, mwah. Anyways, they got it. And they were like, oh, holy shit. And they started laughing really hard. And nothing endears you to a comic more than when you get a thinker's joke right away. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so they do that to me. I'm fine. I bring up Matt P. Brown, and he's not like, he's a really conversational comedian. He's so good. Anyways, he's not like a bam, bam, bam like I am. I have like beginner's rhythm, I'll call it. So I can kind of, maneuver around the lady if she's within my rhythm. Yep. She was fucking his all up, though. She just didn't talk at the right time. She just was messing him up every once in a while. He still crushed, but there was just, you could tell. He had to tell her, like, hey, stop it. Anyways, Mike Donovan came up to me, and he's like, none of that shit over here. And I was like, yeah, I understand completely, Mike. So when I went up after intermission, because there was an intermission, which was really tough, that was, like, I get it. You get another round of drinks for the people. They sit down. They're not getting drinks during your set. There's benefits to that. But you got to cold open a crowd twice, which is tough. And anyways, so we are doing the setup. I go up, cold open again. And I say, all right, listen, the next couple comedians, they just kind of want to do their acts. And they don't want talking at them. And I am definitely saying this to no one in particular. And I death stared that lady. And and the place, it was the biggest laughs of the night, I think, were because of that. And anyway, she was like, meh. Oh, man, she's so mad.
It's funny because sometimes hecklers think that nobody else can hear them. Like they're just talking to their themselves. My dog going up the stairs. They think that nobody else can hear them, but everybody can fucking hear them, and they all hate them. I don't know why people haven't figured this out.
No, I felt bad. I looked over at her because she was upset, and I was like, listen, I said no one in particular, but shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. You can't talk during people's stuff. And she was completely great after that. No other worries. We moved right through. Mike Donovan is a sight to behold because he is an unassuming fellow, very soft-spoken. He's written over 100 books. Like a bunch of them on history.
Yeah, I was going to say, he does like textbooks, which is incredible. How smart do you have to be to write history?
So smart. I got that.
Okay.
So
wow, huh?
if you're looking on YouTube or Spotify, that's the Mike Donovan's book.
A stand-up comedy book by Mike Donovan.
Yeah, it's great. And you can see here, again, if you look in closely, somebody was walking around with a Polaroid camera, like a new version of him, which I don't get. I think Kodak's dead. And took some pictures of us at the vineyards, which was great. I said that the picture of me in front of the vineyards looks like when Clarice finds out who Buffalo Bill is in Silence of the Lambs. Like I got that look to me, unfortunately. Fuck. But yeah, he is so unassuming guy, author, all that kind of stuff. He's giving advice to me just about hosting and all that before, which is great. Anyways, he goes up and he's like, I was like, do you need a light or anything? He's like, no, I'll be 35 minutes. And I was like, okay. And he goes up and has a punchline every 5 fucking seconds for 35 minutes. And it's
Jesus
just
Christ.
bam, 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 bam. No like crowd work. No sit down. What's going on today? How are you guys doing? Clocked in, 35 minutes, clocked out, pure work the whole time. And it wasn't like a lull where there was a while where he wasn't getting laughs. It was like some people were like, oh, Jesus. Just, he was killing for the whole time. He's just, he's been a comedian for 50 years in Boston. And it just shows. So comfortable. Crushed. It was awesome to work with him. So that was a cool one to see. Because, you know, someone like Steve Sweeney is incredible. But he works off the crowd a little bit too. And it almost feels like he's like hosting a show and all that. Because he is. And he really treats it that way. And that's one experience. Because you feel like you're best friends with him. And Mike Donovan, you don't feel like you're best friends with him. You just feel like you're watching a magician work. Like he's just doing an act, and it's so good. So I recommend it. Go see that motherfucker. So funny. And then, yeah, Matt Brown, obviously hilarious. Remember, November 2nd, he's filming his comedy special. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Music Hall Lounge. It's a long one to say. And yeah, boy, will be opening. So go see it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
It's almost sold out. It's like 2 seats left. You can sit by a
Jesus.
fireplace if you'd like, which is awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, but how comfortable that'd be?
That'd be incredible.
Oh, you just wear your best, like, leather-bound book. Put on one of those night robes that are, like, I don't call them, what's man silk?
Man silk.
Man silks come, but what is, like, that? You know what I'm talking about? Like a silk.
Fleece? I think it's fleece.
All right, I'll take fleece.
I
You're,
don't know.
you know, I'm talking about. It's like kind of like a tweed, but it's not because it's. I don't know what is wrong with
Like
burgundy
a Hugh
wear.
Hefner robe?
Yes, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, is that what it's called now? Is it like Kleenex, where he just gets the name of it, whatever that thing's called?
I mean, he's dead, so probably.
Yeah, I know. He was a horrible person, I guess. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, you would assume he probably was. I mean, he made millions objectifying women.
The most
To
objectifying.
all of our benefit, but he did it.
Yeah, he was objectively objectifying those women. That's for sure. I don't know. What are we supposed to be talking about? Oh, how we do our sets. We should.
Well, real quick.
Yeah.
The night before, Jacques was kind of like an OMP whore. He worked with both of us that weekend because the night before that was the first round of the Wicked Funny comedy contest.
I can't believe that I almost didn't want to talk about this because this was way. I mean, vineyards are cool, so cool, but something else was way cooler than that this weekend.
So, this was quite potentially one of the greatest nights of my comedy life.
I know you certainly made it seem that way, and I was all about it.
So we'll set the stage. I got there. I think the show started at 8:30. I get there right around 7.
Ooh, that's early.
Got to hang out with Jacques. And I mean that alone is fun.
Mm-hmm.
While we were chatting, Jim Bishop walked in. Jim Bishop is the comic who won the first year, so he was hosting the show. And so we get to talk to all these people. Alex Mann was there, Lauren Sims, Carlos. It was just tons of people. Like incredible comics were there.
I know, the greatest people too.
Oh yeah. It was incredible. So the way they do this contest is they don't have just like a random list, like, hey, we picked the names, here you go. There's a digital like wheel, right? Almost like a Wheel of Fortune wheel that spins and then picks a comic.
That
And
sucks. Do you get like how? Is it like they spin and they go, all right, come up, or do you have time? Oh,
yep. So I loved that. It was a lot of fun.
Did you like that?
Because all the comics were outside of the room, peering in the curtains. Right? They're just like, and as the wheel was spinning, and then, for those that couldn't see, it'd be like, Jacques was up, like, Jacques, you're up, Jacques, go! You have to just immediately walk up. It was incredible.
Oh, that's so scary. I got such a pee half-life that you have to give me in order for me to survive. Like, I need at least 45 seconds to be able to go and... Because this is the thing. You can't pee too fast at my age anymore. Because then you'll get pee all over your pants. You just will. And then everybody can see it in your head at least. And they go, what an idiot. So I need a good, maybe, give me 3 minutes, please, to go to the bathroom so I can make sure that I'm fine come out, go, and then walk on stage. If you spin a wheel and then I'm mid piss stream, what happens? Did anything fuck up? Did anybody have to wait, or was everybody right on it?
No, I think everybody was pretty well on it. There might have been one person who didn't know that. I think it might have been Richie. Richie was first, and I don't know that everybody realized they were spinning the wheel at that point because you couldn't really hear that well. So I think Richie. I want to say it was Richie. I'm probably wrong. I'm sorry, Richie, if it wasn't you. But I think he was at the bar, and then they were like, "Hey, it's you. You're up." And it took a few, like oh shit, and then walk in through the crowd and get up on the stage and stuff. So I mean, other than that, it was pretty flawless. But
what a room, though! It's just like the energy that room can bring. It's the Chinese food restaurant aura, man. I'm telling you, they got some kind of bones buried underneath those places that make comedy so perfect.
Well, it's great because when you're on the stage, the ceiling is like right here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you could practically reach up at least it felt like it. And then it holds like 100 people. It was a sold out show for mine. And the energy was just incredible.
I know. If I don't get the same energy at mine, I'm going to resent you for the rest of my life. But keep going.
Yeah. So I was like third or fourth up. I went up and it just felt so good. Like everything I wanted to hit with the exception of one thing that usually gets a laugh and it didn't. But the second part to that, which is only a few seconds later, got like extra laugh than it normally does. So I was like, all right, I'm okay with that. So I walked. I don't know why that made sense in my head, but whatever.
You're very glass that has tangent. You're very glass half full, which I love. Where you'll be like, yeah, listen, I know that I got blindsided by a blunt object in an alleyway, and then a guy dragged me into the alleyway and completely assaulted my body. But I got vanilla ice cream that night, and that does something.
you know what I really liked about that though was it didn't throw me. Where I feel like, I
know what you
remember
mean. Sometimes
it would have thrown me.
Oh yeah, to this day, sometimes when when the one part, I'll tell you, Act of God. There's my final punchline on it. There's sometimes where the reason, so there's sometimes it's not hitting 100% the way I want to. So I've decided now in a lot of my longer sets that I'm not going to close with it. Because the easiest thing to do when that happens is to close with that joke. If there's one you really like and sometimes you get a groan or that, just do it at the end because then you can walk off. It doesn't matter. You got other laughs too. And I don't want that. I don't want a joke where I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm putting it like in the last 2/3 because it's still a strong joke and I want it to be part of the finale. But I also want to work my way out of groans or laughs, and if there is one, and I want to see if there is going to be there. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, it's fine. So yeah, I went up there. I felt like it went incredibly well. I felt, as I got off the stage, one of the people right on the left immediately was like, "Dude, that was fucking awesome." I was like, "Oh, thank you." I walked right by the judges' table. One of the judges pointed and winked at me. He's like, "Great job." I was like, "Ooh," I felt really good,
Did you go, "Oh," like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a fucking asshole. Sorry.
I was like, "Oh, me? Thank you."
That's literally your energy right now. Your energy is, me? Oh my God. You guys really think so? And I want to beat you. I want to go back in time and Terminator style T2 Arnold Schwarzenegger, but instead of like him from the first movie where he's out to fucking kill you. Sorry, go ahead.
So I got off stage. I walked through. I walked through the curtains there. Jacques and Joe were there. Get the fist bumps. Joe from Jacques' podcast partner.
Fucking love Joe.
Yep, Joe's great. He was like, "Yeah, I think you did pretty good. I could hear the laughs from the bar." I was like, "Well, that means you weren't in there listening, Joe." No, I think he was. But so no sooner did I walk through those curtains, but who hobbles in? Katrobi. Mike walks in. Mike Katrobis
Obi-Wan Katrobi
walks in with Matt Blanchett and the one and only Steve Bjork.
Ooh.
So here comes the next part to the great night. I get to hang out and chat with Steve Bjork for a good portion of the night, which was fantastic.
And he didn't call the police, which is really insane.
He didn't. Very surprising. But yeah, so
It's
I get to hang out
'cause-
with him.
It's because he knows he can kill you. That's why I think if you were like, let's say, like if you put a leather jacket on you, I bet people will call the police at the end of the night because they'd be like, oh, "This guy's a fucking wild card. I don't know what he's gonna do."
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
Man, you're just a fucking tangent killer. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
I was more concerned about what I was going to say next. I'm not
I
gonna
know.
lie.
Yeah, I know. What is it, open
I'm
mic
trying to keep
pain
track
with
of my
Anthony and
story.
Wayne or something?
Was that?
You don't need. Listen, you've been masturbating over this story for a fucking little while now. You don't need any reminding of what happens next. You're like, so I come at this part, but if I wait long enough, by the end of the story, I could do it again.
All right. So after that, there was 4 or 5 comics left after me. Jacques went up, I think, just a couple after me. Absolutely murdered. Did great. Everybody did really well. I will say that everybody there went really well. Or did really well.
She was a hot crowd.
Sure was. It was an incredible crowd. So whatever. Everybody finishes up. Then it's time to announce the winners. And yours truly, I will be moving on to the final round, along with Jacques Lambert and Carlos Z.
So, congratulations, but
Thank you.
compliment sandwich here. Yours truly. What the fuck is that? Can we talk about that? I've heard you say that a couple times. I mean, the world says it. I'm not saying you're the only one that says it. But what do you mean that you are mine and you're saying that truly? Like,
Yeah,
what?
I am truly yours. Are we not like cosmically intertwined at this point?
Yeah, but you can say you're saying yours truly to the podcast world because you're saying
No,
to
I'm not
everybody.
I'm talking to you.
Me and so me,
I'm
I
telling
own
the
you.
story.
So Channing Tatum from This Is the End, you are going to be a sex slave on a leash, apocalyptically. That's not a word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Stop saying yours truly. Jesus Christ, I hate that. Because I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, I can't think of a way to say that isn't ending a letter in World War II. Like I just
Me. Me one.
yeah, say it. That's fucking smarter. Me one is smarter than yours truly. That's like you saying like sincerely me one. Like it's the fucking end. That's how you end letters, you dumbass.
So this story gets better for me because this was a fantastic night for me. After everything was done, my dad was there, so that was cool. He got to see me proceed to the next round, and I had a couple other friends that were there as well. So everybody leaves. I go to say bye to a few people. I'm saying what I thought was going to be bye to Mike Katrobis and Pat Collins at that point. And one of the people from the audience left, and it was a guy and a girl, and the girl turned around, she goes, "I saw you down in Quincy." And I loved Down for Love. I loved it so much I went and had to I watched it. But she's like, I loved you. She was very drunk. But yeah, so it was a really cool feeling to be recognized for something. Go ahead, get it out.
She was like, I saw you and I just had to watch a show with Down syndrome people. You
Yes.
got it all set up for me to watch a show. You're the perfect amuse-bouche for slowness.
All I'm saying, it was really cool for somebody that I don't know to be like, "Hey, I remember you." It happened. It happened to us at the open mic. The older couple.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that
not
saw us.
surprising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't surprising. This was surprising because it was Quincy, which is an hour away, and North Andover, and for that person to recognize me just felt cool. I don't know, just you can laugh at me. I thought it was.
No, I'm not laughing you at the feeling cool for someone recognizing you. It's how you said it. You said it funny. And also, I mean, not to burst the conspiracy bubble here, but they're probably just related to somebody that was also on the Quincy show because we got a couple people that were on both, right? Like Alex Mann.
Yeah, Alex wasn't on ours.
He was at the show.
Maybe.
I saw him there.
I know he was.
He really bailed me. Really helped me out there. That
Back off,
fucking
bitch.
angel. Sorry. They're your fans, Wayne. They are your fans. Say they're your fans again, like you did before, so we can have that argument again. You fucking asshole.
Anyways, so
that made your
that
night
would have
so
been enough
great.
for me to have a great night.
I mean, yeah, you've already said it 5 times. What could happen next?
What could have happened? So the comic capping off the night was the great Tony V, who absolutely fucking murdered.
Of course he did.
So as I'm leaving, I walk outside. I see Lauren Sims. I walk over to say goodbye and good job and all that.
And gloat.
No.
Did you have
And
a
she
crown
was-
on?
Did I?
Yeah, did
No,
you have a crown and a cape or anything?
No. Tiara.
Yeah, definitely.
Tiara and a wand. So I walk out to say bye, and who she's standing with, but Tony V, Steve York, and Joan Spinelli, who I did not know before that night, but she was a comic from early 90s. From what I understand, Vegas. She traveled with like Wayne Newton and stuff.
Damn.
So Tony V has a cigar. Steve Bjork has a cigar. Mike Atrobus walks up, and Tony V and Steve and Joan just start spitting out all of these stories from back in the day. Like Tony V's talking about hanging out with Bobcat Goldthwait and Robin Williams and like all these crazy stories. Joan's talking about, back in the day being threatened and not get paid, and she's like, "I'm gonna fuck your bar up," blah, blah, blah. Like just all these crazy stories, and I was just sitting there like, this is the coolest thing. I wanted to go home and go to bed. I was so tired, but I stood there and I listened, and that was that was the cherry on top to the whole night. It was incredible. It was such a fun time.
That's awesome. That part, I have no sly comments to make because that's really cool. Except, did your dad end up getting some strange, or was he, or did he have to go home early?
Some strange? No.
I heard he was throwing around. He's throwing that. He's like, "Hey, my fucking son's up there. You want?
Do you know who he was talking to?
You want to see that big dog? Big dog. You say it.
He was talking to Joan Spinelli.
Hell yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So I forgot all about that. Yeah. So my dad texted me or called me at 5:30. He's like, "Hey, I'm heading down there." I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna get there fucking wicked. It starts at 8:30." And he's like, "I'll just go get something to eat, whatever." So I get down there at like 7. I'm like, I don't see him. He's probably still eating. And then I start talking to Jacques and everything. And like, I look at my phone. I'm like, it's like 8:20. Where the fuck is this guy? And I go talk to my other couple friends that were there. And I'm like, I don't know where my dad is. I got to go find him. So I go looking around the restaurant. I can't find him. And I call him. And the phone like goes straight to voicemail. I text him, get nothing. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? Turns out he was sitting right behind my friends. And I didn't even see him. So I went up and I was like, "Hey, I couldn't find you. You're good. I got to go back out there, whatever." He's like, "Oh no, I was just talking to this lady," and she's like, "Oh, hi, I'm Joan, whatever." Little did I know that we'd be standing around smoking, Tony V and Steve smoking cigars and then trading old war stories. So the next day I called my dad. I'm like, we're talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, no, I don't really. I mean, I was talking to a lady or whatever." And I told him that whole story, and he goes, "Oh yeah, she mentioned she was a comic from Vegas." I was like, "She mentioned?" Like, you would think that'd be something. I mean, I guess for us that would be something that would be like, "Oh, tell us more,"
He's like, "I learned it over pancakes the next morning."
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I can't stop.
So yeah, that was my night. So hopefully this coming Friday for you. Actually, this is gonna be 3 days ago. You have as much fun as I had.
Yep, 3 days in the past, or if you're talking about now, that's 4 days in the future. So we got a 7-day time jump here, folks, for all of you to know. How did I do? Because Wayne had a perfect night, which means that I resent him currently. I want only all the good things. I want no one else to have them. Very upfront with that. So no one can ever accuse me to be like, "Hey, why are you spiteful, like vindictive and all that?" I'm very upfront with this. I don't want anybody to succeed. Only myself. So when Wayne does great, I have to do great or I'm not happy for him. So this Friday, I'm going to do the same thing. And if it doesn't go equally, so I need to have Christine Hurley talk to me after the set for a while. which I'm sure she'll do because she's very nice. I need everybody up there. I need someone to recognize me from another show and say, I love your bit. I need to obviously place and move forward into the contest so that I can spinning back fist Wayne in the face, physically and comedically. Or
You also have a very difficult week.
I
I mean,
know.
every week is difficult, but like I had a lineup of killers, man. Like I was when everybody was there together, I was looking around going, "Oh man, this is gonna be tough," and it was tough.
Yeah,
It was
I
tough.
do.
Everybody did fucking great. I don't know how the judges figured it out, and you have a similar week.
I know. Thank God Justin's on the lineup because he sucks so bad that I can at least have somebody I know won't make it. So that's good. I got one less to worry about. So yeah, I'm excited to do it. Obviously, it's just good to get on that stage. That's a good one. I'm there November 16th as well with Katrobi, and that's gonna be fun to do a do a real show in there and do as much time as I can possibly do because it's such a beautiful stage to walk around on. I've actually, to be honest with you, I've been there, been on just walking on the stage and all that to look at it, but I've never performed there. So excited to do that too. Because I didn't want to blow it, but you've been 2 for 2 now. I mean, do you like a room more than this one, or is this your room?
I love this room. So
Right?
the first time I did it, that was my pinnacle of comedic nights. That got trumped by another night, a couple other nights over time. It is now back up there as the pinnacle of nights that I've had.
That's awesome.
And I have 2 more. So I have the final on the 18th, October 18th, and then 2 nights later I'll be there for a showcase. So I'm going to be there two nights in one weekend, which is going to be pretty fucking insane.
That is insane. So why don't you have, before we get into the thing that we're supposed to be fucking talking about, which we're going to talk about for like 5 minutes to end the show. Sorry everybody, but this is we told interesting stories, so eat shit if you so all. But Wayne, I must piss. So why don't you tell everybody what you are working on next for shows and where I'm going to be? You know where I'm going to be and all that. This weekend in Revere with Harrison Stebbins. This already happened, so I don't know. I shouldn't be talking about it.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
We can talk
right.
about that afterwards, but
Yeah,
so this coming weekend, is it September 27th, we'll be down at Platinum City Gaming in Taunton, Massachusetts. Gianni Saltamalakia, I probably messed that up. I'm sorry, Gianni. He's hosting. I will be there, as well as Justin George, and there was another gentleman that I know that was on it, but I can't remember his name. I apologize. And Anthony will be headlining that show, so that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a cool hang. Everybody on that's going to be awesome, and a lot of fun. I think, I could be wrong, but I think Anthony has a show on the 28th. We'll have to ask him when he comes back from emptying his little girl bladder. And yeah, other than that, there's not a ton for me. I think I might be at Nanking in New Hampshire with the great Nick Powell on 1010. Here you are. Oh, we can't hear me yet. So that'll be fun, and then we have our show on the 12th. Anthony, do you have something going on the 28th as well?
Yeah, I'm going to be of October.
No, 28th of September, because I was talking about the 27th on in
Oh, Platinum? No. I'm actually no, that weekend I'm taking off the 28th.
Oh, there you go.
Doing some family stuff. But the weekend after, I don't know if we're on anything the weekend after. We just got our show. I'm going to be headlining Gibbs, which is cool, or closing out Gibbs, I should say, the showcase that's there in October. I believe the 27th. That's on a Sunday. So that one's going to be cool. I love Gibbs. That one I haven't had a bad show at either. That's such a cool place to work for. So yeah, and then we got, all the other shit we're doing. You guys heard about it. Doesn't matter. But now, I really want to talk about how we break down sets. So normally, after a set goes, if you're like doing a bunch of guest spots or you're doing the same openings, you might just get used to doing your set, getting off stage, calling it a night. Some people record their sets. Some people take notes afterwards. So we thought it'd be interesting to say our process. What do we plan to do before we go on stage with our set? Like, what makes us choose the jokes? And then how do we post-mortem the dead body of how we did afterwards? So, do you want to start, Wayne, or I'm going to go first?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd be pretty quick with mine. So I will say one thing that I enjoyed. Jacques Lambert shared his process with me, where he had his list of jokes, and then he had a couple columns of like his expected time for them to take, then the actual time for that set, and then his expected amount of laughs, like what he was hoping for, and then the actual. I think that was kind of a fun synopsis. But my only thing with that was how do you count a laugh? Like you could have like a crazy entire room laughing, then you could have a half a room laughing, then you could have a few chuckles. Like what are you counting? One thing I like to do, like when I really want to get into the thick of it, I will take a transcript of my set and I will color code the laughs. So I'll have like green for like everybody laughed. I'll have yellow for, yellow for like most people laughed. I'll have orange for I had some scattered chuckles, and I'll have like a red for this was supposed to get a laugh, but I got nothing. And that'll kind of help me visually look at it and go, okay, this needs work. Potentially, if you see that in multiple nights. I also like to every once in a while I'll color code the setup and the exposition, which kind of helps for you to kind of look and see if you have too much.
That I get. Yeah, I can understand that one.
But one of my questions for you was kind of in this vein was not all laughs are created equally, right? So if you have like a few chuckles, like you want to just, obviously it would be nice if you could have that giant punchline every 10, 15 seconds, but probably not going to have that unless you're Mike Donovan. So how do you feel about a little more exposition for that giant laugh in lieu of, let's call it 30 seconds, right? And then you get one gigantic laugh at the end of that 30 seconds versus maybe scattered chuckles throughout the entire thing and then like a mediocre laugh. How do you rate all that?
It depends on the length of the set for me when I'm thinking about that. So, like for instance, on a 5-minute set, I'm going to want to be quick. Bang, 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 bang.
Yep.
Like I want to have quick laughs. On 10 minutes plus, you obviously have more room to in the middle of your set. Like I don't think that should be the first couple jokes, and in your set should be that way. Yeah, I think you need to earn slowing down and taking it there. But I think that there's important things and reasons why you do that. Like so, for instance. If I'm doing more than 10 minutes, I have to have a drink on stage or I get caught in dick mouth. I just completely dry up in there. And so I need it. And it could take the complete energy out of your set if you drink in the wrong spot, obviously. If you're meant to be on a roll, can't be drinking there. So it's nice to have a crescendo where you have a story. It takes a little bit longer. You could take a drink in there, wait for a final bigger pause.
Can I interject there real quick? And something that I noticed I did on Friday that I've probably been doing for a little while, but I haven't really picked up on it. But was deliberate movements during laughter. So like, I didn't have a drink with me because it was just 5 minutes, or whatever. I didn't grab one, but during like my Down for Love, or let's say the beginning, right? I did my first couple jokes with the mic in the stand. Then I did a joke and the laughter hit. Pulled the mic out, put it behind me while people were laughing. Then at the end, when I was ready to wrap up, during Down for Love, I did my first I have 4 jokes in that. At the end of that joke, first one, big laugh while they were laughing. Grabbed the mic stand, I brought it over here. I was just kind of holding it. Did the second one, punchline of that. They were laughing, brought it over, put it in the stand. And then I finished the set. And it was not something I thought of doing. It just kind of happened. And when I look back, I was like, oh, I was happy with how I did that.
Yeah, you mean
it was all
you should
subconscious.
be proud of it too, because you've come a long way. You were a fucking disaster stage presence wise when you first started with the crosswalking and keeping the mic in front of you and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and the pacing and the looking down. And now, subconsciously, you're doing pro level moves on there and keeping good interaction with it. So, look at that, folks. A year and a half. I mean, some people in the distant future may be listening to this like quickly. Maybe they binge our episodes. So they've caught up to a year and a half in a month, let's say. Imagine that scenario. So you can really see how much that time could do for you, because there was a point where Wayne would do a set and everybody would unalive themselves in the room because it's so bad.
Yeah, there was times like I forgot my shit and I pulled a stool over. I just sat there staring blankly at my phone.
Staring
I knew there was
at a
nothing there.
fucking rainbow road while blasted. Like you can, like I was like, I came down the Lowell. I walked downstairs into a place that is most of the time a gay bar with a rainbow road on the wall, which is awesome, by the way. What a fucking place! If you're like, holy shit, it's like the F1
I believe the way
arcade.
he described it was used to be a gay bar, often still is when we're in it. I think is how you said it at one point.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's probably very true of me. But yeah, that was horrible. And you're right. Every time I make fun of you, you should bring that up because that was horrible. So let me talk about how I changed my set, because right now, I think wait, do you have any more in yours?
No, I interrupted you because you were talking about being deliberate with your taking a sip of water, and it just popped in my head that I noticed that when I was watching back.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another part of it's not just the words when I'm listening back or watching back, it's the actions. It's like you said, fuck, he's looking down, he's crosswalking, he's doing this or that. And I have more things that I catch myself doing. Like I constantly want to put my hand in my pocket. Just like I caught myself on stage at Wicked Funny, putting my hand down to my pocket and bringing it right back away. Like I knew I was doing it, and I was like, nope, not doing that. And I don't know why I have that urge to put my hand in my pocket, but
I put my hand in my pocket sometimes. That's fine. Yeah, it helps relax like you're showing that you're being more natural, you know? Don't have to be performative.
maybe. I just think my hand would be in there the entire time. It would be so
Yeah,
bad.
you can't do that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm noticing about myself lately is I've been a lot more present on stage, which is, I didn't know if I'd realize when that was happening because people talk about it all the time, but I'm realizing it because I don't need to watch the setback to know what happened. I do still, but it's pretty like everything is like, yeah, that's how I thought it went. Like there used to be a time where I would watch it again and be like, wow, that's not as bad as I thought it was, or man, that's better than I thought after watching it. And I just don't have that anymore. Now I'm like, I remember where I fucked up and I went, I fucked up because of that. And I can I feel it more. Where before I'm like, man, I thought I did great on that joke. And then you see the evidence afterwards. So that's been nice. You know, just a little more present.
That was another thing I talked about, that joke that didn't hit, that normally gets some chuckles, got nothing. When I was listening back or watching back rather, when that was coming up, I was like, oh, here it is. Oh, that fucking hurts. You know? But yeah.
Yeah, so I know that you put a lot into watching afterwards, and I listen to my sets afterwards. If they go bad, I don't. Holy shit! If they go, I know you should. If they go really bad, but when I eat dick, I'm like, I don't want to fucking ever do that again. But what I do to change my shit is a little bit different than yours. So I like to find out where the weak points are in my set based on that fishing allegory that I said last week about keeping the line taut and not letting the head shake. So I just look for head shakes throughout my set afterwards and try to remember where they hit and then reorganize my set to go around that. So I told a story last week when I went to Hartford and people were eating. It was really tough. So from there, I took my set and I went, all right, I'm in their shoes. I'm kind of off distracted, talking a little bit. What do I need to get me to start paying attention to it? What I find is I need the guy to introduce himself to me. Not literally. What I mean is you got to say jokes that tell you, the people, who you are, and are quick laughs in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I front loaded.
Kind of set the stage for your personality and what they can expect.
Yeah, and maybe tell a little bit about yourself within them. Like, so I do my kids joke and an immigrant parents joke in the beginning. Now, I said those were ones I did later in my set before because I think they're really strong jokes. But I front load now with that, especially when I'm opening. And then I take my edgier jokes that I would like to do in the beginning before, because I'd like to do an edgy joke, almost like earn their laughs with something like California Sober and hit them with an edgy joke to set the tone where I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. And if you're in the middle of a lineup, that works because the crowd's hot, ready to go, all that. Or if you're closing, you can take liberties like that. But opening and hosting is a different game now. And I really, the fundraiser and Hartford and last week, the Vineyard show, I really think I've gotten a good grasp of like, here's how you have to tackle that position. It's not about you. It's about making sure the show's good. It's about making sure people understand the jokes are coming. So I've first time tailored my sets towards particular things and changed them afterwards. Based, like I said, on those weak points, to the point where now there's like a month ago, if you asked me, if you were like, oh, how do you think you're going to do? I'm like, well, if the crowd's good, then I think I'm going to be fine. But there's going to be a couple points where I'm going to be like anal equity. I love that joke. It's one of my favorites, one of your favorites. But that's a joke that I wince at before I do because it either fucking crushes or people don't get it. So I've created a set that's not in. No jokes like that are in there. These are all like, you're going to get these jokes. They're not anything insane. And they're also clean. People like them that would be old or younger. And it's just nice to have that in the back pocket. Jacques was right from the beginning when he told you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy with that that advice. And I'm glad I went through that, but I also... Now I'm in a point where the writing, I could make it dirtier if I want. I'm still leaning towards a less offensive way to say things, I guess. But I can always add in some extra shit to spice it up if the crowd calls for it,
Yeah. I think we're just getting into better subjects too, which is good to write jokes on. In the sense of it's like, if you're writing, like, let's say, only self-deprecating jokes or only jokes about your kids or only jokes about, like, weed, for instance. Like, if I was just doing that, at some point it's kind of your character and you're not going to really move past that. But now, like, I got a joke about them trying to work. It's one of my workout jokes about DoorDash and how they sell mattresses now. And that's just, I like that I'm writing jokes that are like that you're like, holy, that's out of nowhere. It's an interesting topic. And it doesn't have to be crazy gross, just is a really interesting thing you can still make in your words funny. Where before I was like, man, if I'm not making fun of Bud Light in a hilariously grotesque way, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing for who I am, what I think is funny.
Speaking of Bud Light, real quick, did you see the Shane Gillis Bud Light commercial yet?
Yeah, he's the best. He's the funny,
goddamn good.
Funny,
so goddamn good.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's really not. But one thing that I've noticed for me personally, and I kind of texted you this and you ignored it, but I've put yeah. So I have all of these different ideas, different things with... My son will say something to me, I'm like, oh, that'd be... I can explore that as a joke. That's funny. So I have like that joke about, hey, you hate this joke, but about the, potentially losing body parts like you lose your baby teeth.
Oh, yeah, I fucking hate this joke. I hate it. I hate it so bad.
But I love the premise, and I just have to find out how to make it work. I have all these other jokes about my son that just like little ideas, like one is like they say there's no such thing as stupid questions, but whoever said that never spent the 15 minutes to drive my kid to school, because in the idea just driving with him every day, it's like he asks a lot of questions, and they're not stupid questions. He's just a curious kid, and I feel like
that's a Louis C.K. joke.
Is it?
Yeah. He's walking his kid. Yeah, well, he's walking his kid to school, and she's asking why, and the questions that she keeps having questions about that, and he's like, oh, because of the universe, and then in the end, he's like, she just wants to learn about it, but I want her to stop. It's the same idea.
You're right. I forgot all about that. But that's the difference. Is this is a good thing too. Like, that is the difference between somebody like Louis C.K. and myself. We had the same exact experience. But he was able to just make it gold, and I've been sitting on it for months. Like, what the fuck do I do with this? Now I do nothing with it.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Sorry, you can't ever do a Louis C.K. thing in front of me. It comes to my mind.
I forgot all about that joke. I remember it now that you started saying it. Yeah. But.
Yeah, that's why it's. I don't. It's my body naturally goes towards it, so it's not like I'm trying to do this. That's why I really gravitate towards more absurd premises, because they don't
like losing body parts like baby teeth.
That's not absurd.
Bitch.
It's not an absurd.
That is absurd.
It is absurd. You're right, but it's not a premise. That's the difference. It has to be two things. You're just like, wouldn't it be cool if our hands were green? Like, yeah, I guess it would be cool if our hands were green. I guess if you want
the joke. But
I know, but it's the same kind of joke, you know what I mean? Where you're just saying, like, wouldn't it be weird if this was a thing? And that's, bleh.
So that's where I was going with that whole story was, I was looking at it like that was something he said to me. He's like, "Am I going to lose my?" I forget what he said. He's like, "Am I going to lose my eyes? Like I'm going to lose my teeth or something?"
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, that'd be fucking wild, wouldn't it?" And so in my head, my joke was going towards, wouldn't it be weird if? But now looking at a different angle, and all these other little jokes I have written about him, it could all play into the same theme of these questions he asks me. And like, what, instead of saying like, wouldn't it be weird? Like, what the fuck does he think? Your nipples fall off like baby belly buttons and blah, blah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't do it now though. You just said, because Louis C.K. did it, so you got to throw it away. So we're going to go back to...
weird? No. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You trapped yourself in this your own labyrinth.
I'm looking at it at a different angle now, where it's not just.
You're like, I'm looking at it at a different angle now. I stole.
So I think we're coming up on about an hour now.
I love Ray Liotta laugh. So this is one thing I haven't told Mike yet, but it's so funny. You don't want to bomb in front of Mike Katrobis, everybody, because Ray Liotta laughs at you from Goodfellas when he's afterwards. Like, I was like, that sucked. And he was like, that's how I just laughed at you for that. You're like, I have a joke that you really don't like, and here's how I fixed it. I stole from Louis C.K., and I think you're really going to like it now.
I'd like to reference you to the Joke Thieves or Parallel Thinking episode from month 3 of
You are a parallel. You do run into some parallel thinking a lot.
I've done it twice with Louis C.K. now. Once with Eliza Schlesinger, which I never did that joke, but I had it in my notebook, and I watched her special, and I went, well, fuck that. Cross it off.
Yep.
That joke was, I had like somebody come up to me, he's like, oh, I'm having a baby. I was like, you just want to brag that you got laid. And she did that exact premise. See,
too simple. That's why, like, your complicated premises are your best ones.
I don't want to say there's only so many, but those come far and few between.
Yeah, I know, but find any the stuff that I talk about that anybody else ever talks about. You can't find that shit anywhere. It's so
your kids being mistakes,
and then comparing them to Pearl Harbor. Find me that.
If you were to give me the hey, my kids are mistakes, figure it out, I would probably come up with Pearl Harbor.
You would probably come up with Pearl. There's a good chance you would come up with calling your kids mistakes and then Pearl Harbor. Eat shit.
You act like that's like a revolutionary thing.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it was revolutionary. All I said was if you were talking about parallel, I don't have to worry about parallel thinking because I'm like, no one's thought of this. There's just like I'm not for that joke. I should say. I'm not saying for all the jokes. I'm saying for the ones I like to do. You disagree?
Yeah.
So you think
Google giraffe.
I have never Googled giraffe. Why, you have?
I'm just saying, Google it. Do you think somebody has ever thought of putting giraffe with giraffe?
Google it.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, great. Grab your phone. If you find it in the first couple letters in a comedic way, I concede. If you don't, you have to say you're a bald asshole who's wrong.
Well, the first thing that comes up is a picture of a giraffe. Where is it? As a Jew. So I'm going to leave it at that. Don't mute, you stupid bitch.
Ah, that's exactly what I pictured when I wrote it. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. You think
Yep.
like when people say every premise has pretty much been done. It's true. Everybody, there's 8 billion people on this earth. People are thinking anything that you think has been done.
I
has
know,
been done.
I know. But I do
when
do a
Trump won
more
back in
complicated.
2016,
Yeah.
When Trump won back in 2016, I went into I went up to my friend. I was like, "We should make like a parody video game and call it Mega Man." Mega Man.
Yeah.
He Googled it. Somebody had a
Already made it.
Mega Man video game. Like it was like Trump with a like that was
Yeah.
days. It was like days after MAGA.
Listen, I concede. Because you're right. That's everything. Yeah. Well, I told you I would if you fucking you found the greatest thing to Trump of all time. So good. So yeah, I mean you're right. Probably everything out there has been done. All I'm saying is more is I try to be. That was so funny. I try to be more complicated. Is all I'm saying. I try to have jokes that are intricate in at least ways that I have weird turns or they have weird left turns, so that it's less of a chance that anything's been done in that way. Like hopefully that giraffe isn't about a guy getting high and going to the zoo and looking at things differently.
And it's probably not, but the only thing you lose with that is the relatability, right? So when I have like a joke about my son being an asshole, it's not funny because I'm calling him an asshole. It's because there are parents in the crowd that are like, yeah, kids are fucking assholes.
But again,
and then it's the turns you take on it. Why is he an asshole? It's not just that he's an asshole, but it's the relatability. Then you can take the wild turns. But
this is my problem with that.
Say things.
This is what I'm going to say to you. You're again quoting Louis C.K. word for fucking word, and that's my issue with it. Louis C.K.'s, if you listen to any interview he's ever done about where they say, when did you realize you were a good comedian? He's like, first time I went up stage and I just said, my kid's an asshole. And I got a response from it, and I knew it was relatable and all that. And it's just like, yeah, I can also say the same things that Louis says, and it will, that could resonate. But I'm trying not to do that. So that's my argument against it. Like again, you just quoted Louis fucking word for word.
Well, I've never seen that interview.
You can rest assured if I tell you he said it, he said it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I don't know, man. Like,
because then you run into parallel thinking a lot. That's my point. Like you've run into the wild multiple times throughout where you have a joke that's really similar to another person's joke, never because you took it, only because it's a simple premise that a lot of people have. So there's pros and cons. I get it. Relatability is huge, but you also don't want to be into a point where someone thinks that you took their joke because they also have a simple premise with it. So you got to ride that line, in my opinion, at least. But I mean, everybody's different and subjective. So we're more talking about me versus you. This is the whole point of the episode. So that's why it sounds antagonistic, but I'm not pushing against you. You see what I'm doing here, right?
No, I get it.
I've qualified this enough.
You're also saying Louis C.K. has the simple premises, right? Which he does.
Yeah, but he's the master.
It's just the way he turns it. That's
exactly.
What I'm saying is you can take that. It's the
weird
agree. way you look at it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's your specific spin on how you look at that simple premise.
So you can't.
Not everything has to be a fucking whatever. Let's name a giraffe.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying. Yeah, a simple dish. Like nothing. You can eat Michelin star all the time, but a good hamburger is a good hamburger. But the problem is, a simple hamburger that sucks, and a Michelin star dish never sucks. It's just some people aren't in the mood for that. They want something simpler that hits. So I feel like if you're gonna do a simple joke, a simple premise, I should say, like you said with Louis C.K., you have to masterfully do it.
Right.
You have to do it in a way where I'm like, I never thought about it like that before. I'll give you an example of a Louis one while we're on it that I think is so simple but incredibly good. Was on his Sincerely special. He's talking about shopping at small businesses. Have you seen that one? Where he's like, I don't
I've
want
seen that special, but I don't remember this.
He's like, I went into a store where a lady made little trinkets, and I hate going into those stores because you walk into their dreams, like you walk into the person's life dreams. And he's like, and I walk to the door, and it goes, ka-ling-a-ling-a-ling. He's like, just talking about such simple things. He's like, the lady staring at you the whole time, like, oh, hi, this is my life in here. Please buy something. And the whole joke... Look how bad I'm saying it, by the way. This is how simple it is. It's so hard to say it properly.
I was just thinking that.
I know. I mean, my bad. I'm not good enough. I can't do this simple of a thing. But anyways, it's a joke I think about a lot because it's so simple, but so masterfully done. All to say that you suck. No, I'm sorry. So what? You see where I'm coming from, though, right?
I do. Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from.
I'm just trying to explain why I didn't like the baby teeth joke.
And that's fine. And it may end up going nowhere. But there have also been other jokes that you told me you
So
fucking
many.
hate, and now you tell me you love them.
Let's talk about that.
Speakeasy joke.
Which one?
Speakeasy.
Well, Speakeasy, you fixed it. That's why I like it now.
Yeah. Speakeasy was also in its infancy stages. I've done the baby teeth thing like 3 times.
Totally, but you fundamentally changed the way Speakeasy worked, and it was for...
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you said do the original one.
Well, the original I had like, I do a thing with like an example, right? So I had 3 examples. I cut it down to 1. It was the only difference. I just cut it down to 1.
That's not true, because you did it. The one that you did it differently.
No, so all right, so I don't mind burning this joke because whatever. It's not even burning because there's fucking 30 people listening. So the joke was, I kind of like I use it as like a way to bump up the bar, right?
Give me the original, the one that I didn't like. Okay, what was it? How did it go?
Yeah, it was like my friend invited me to a speakeasy, which I had no idea what that was. He explained it to me as like a secret place you go to drink, and I thought, like, why the hell would I want to do that? I already have, my basement and a bathroom and my shed. I had like 3 things.
That's not how you did it, though. You know that you did it differently.
I don't remember how I did it. That was pretty much it. It's been almost exactly the same. Except
No, it didn't make sense the way you did it before. That's why I called it out. I was like, it just doesn't make sense because I forgot the example I gave. But
I had a friend of mine invite me out to a speakeasy the other day. Do you guys know what this is? No. I had never heard of this. He told me it was a secret place you go to drink. I was like, why the hell would I want to do that? I have 3 of those at my house already.
that I like it now because you fundamentally changed it.
Let's give it up for navigation. It's a great bar, huh? This is my kind of bar, man. I like a simple bar. I don't like those themed bars. I had a friend invite me to a speakeasy not too long ago. I had no idea what that was, but he described it to me as a secret place you go to drink. And I thought to myself, why the hell would I want to do that? Yeah. I already have a basement.
You're right, though, that you can do the same thing to baby teeth. It's just I'm more like, wouldn't it be weird if this blank is a tough premise for me to get my head around, just in general, like that structure of a joke.
And what I sent you was a fundamental change to that structure. Maybe you didn't see it or read it, but...
I did. You just explained it, where you're talking about your kid asking questions.
Yeah, no, I know, but...
And then you went, damn it, Louis did it. So I don't get your argument here. But, yes. I know, if you find another different angle, I see what you're saying, where it's not going to be, isn't that weird? You're just going to put the perspective of it on a different person. Because it doesn't have to be your son either. It could be all kinds of things. Saw it in a movie. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's other ones too that I didn't like that you turned around, I think. So it goes to show that I'm a fucking dumbass. You talk too sometimes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes if we do a podcast together.
I was trying to think of what to say. I'm trying to not come down hard on you, but
Come down hard, you pussy. What are you talking about? I'm trying not to come down. Oh my God, make my day.
Speaking of coming down hard, I sent you this, and I know he's listening right now. Israel, avid listener of the show, has been fucking roasting me online.
Yeah. Well
It's been
deserved.
incredible.
That's right, Israel. Get him. And
Fucking
you know what? If you are listening, Israel, well, the show already, Wicked Funny already happened. You better fucking have been there. God damn it.
He tried to, actually. It was sold out.
You tried to go to yours,
Messaged
but
me. He's like, I went to go get a ticket, and they're sold out. I can't make it. And I was like, no, it's all right.
he's like, how were your jokes?
But I appreciate the support. It's a good dude.
Well, we got anything else, Wayne?
No, I had something. I forgot what it was, but
It was, it was probably
I
Lucy
do remember
Gator.
what it was. While I was waiting for you to be able to come on and chat, this popped into my head for some reason. You know how like Mickey Mouse came into the public domain and Winnie the Pooh came into the public and all this crazy shit?
Mhm.
What is an IP that you would like to see come into that public domain, but you're never going to see because you're going to be dead before it does? Like, what do you wish you could see people just have at?
Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about. You know what would be nice to be Lord of the Rings? Because they are kind of doing that.
You might see that.
What do you mean?
Was that 67, 70 something?
Yeah, but it's owned by an estate that is still around.
Doesn't matter. It's 90, 95 years, I think it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I mean, you might be alive when
see
that
it.
goes into public domain.
That's good. Maybe Game of Thrones then. Take it out of the George R.R. Martin's cold fucking fat fingers and let somebody finish that goddamn book. Oh my God, they're never going to finish it.
See, I was thinking more along the lines of like something where like they could do crazy shit with it. You know, like,
Say yours then, you jackass, so I know what you're thinking.
well, no, like you know, how, like Mickey Mouse, they're doing like the horror movie.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, they did the horror movie. And I'm not just thinking like horror movies in particular, but I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of something. Like what do I love? Like, well, this is fresh in the mind because I just bought the Metal Gear Solid collection, right? Thinking 100 years, what they might do, and they're probably not going to, but what they might do with like Solid Snake and like all that crazy shit. Or I keep going to like video game IPs, but think about like Spyro the Dragon. You know, like not being this cute little dragon, just collecting fucking fire gems or whatever. I don't know. I didn't really put much thought into my own answer, but I was just kind of thinking about that. Or maybe like some kids cartoon, like Bluey. I'm gonna go with Bluey. My son loves Bluey. I think it's a great show. But in 90 years, the crazy shit that they're gonna do to that poor little dog.
Do you remember last week when I was like, we should do a skit where a guy does YouTube
fuck off.
reviews?
That was horrible. That was horrible.
That's so funny. Think about it. It's quick fire, right? The guy's just like he's taking like a
like, oh, this is sexual. Oh, this is sexual. Oh, no, that's not.
No. He doesn't say that. He says this feels sexual. Like this is the vibe the guy's getting off all the items, and the whole point is it's him, right? He's a pervert, but he doesn't think that. He's just reviewing the items naturally. You know, like he's like, I really liked Mike Donovan's The Comedy Stand-Up book.
Go there.
And I want to review it for you guys.
He disappeared. That's what he gets for such a bad idea.
Worthy step for the quest for laughs.
Me. Me one.